Wise Wednesdays started on April 1st with a humble episode on forgiveness. Between then and now, we've had heart-led conversations on happiness, stress management, relationships, resilience, public speaking, respecting boundaries, self-discovery, mindset, just being, listening, reclaiming your life, intuition, and even food. I would like to thank all my listeners and the guests who gave me their time and trust. It is because of you that we kept going. It is because of you that we kept growing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so, so much. And to imagine I'd do that on my own show. Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 40 of Connecting the Thoughts. My host today is first a special friend, somebody I've known since 2005, and someone I had the honor of interviewing when she was in a different realm altogether. And now I'm like super excited, guys. So just bear with me. I have today on board with me Dr. Smitha Prabhakar. She's known as the Happiness Doctor. She's a life and transformational coach. She's a master of more than 13 disciplines in the holistic and energy space. She's outstanding in what she does. A lot of you know her from the many meditations, wellness retreats that she conducts. And some of you have been join her fan club because of the outstanding transformational work that she does. Truly honored to have her as my first guest of 2021. Where have you guys been? It's been a year since we did a show. So without further ado, I bring to you Dr. Smitha Prabhakar. Thank you so much for being on board. I am so thrilled.
Thank you so much, Rokeya. It's just been an honor. I'm truly humbled to be here and very, very excited.
Super. As am I. So, Smith, can I call you just Smitha? Because for me, it feels like,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
talk.
please.
Yes. So I was like, Smitha, we've been running this show for the last, your episode 40, and we've been running this since April. And the format of the show is that I always ask you, the speaker, to decide what you would speak on. And and most often the speaker really knows, like, okay, this is my topic because this is what I resonate with. And what you instantly said was mindfulness. You was like, no, nothing else. So tell me, what does mindfulness mean to you?
For me, mindfulness means a lot in terms of how to live your life mindfully. Every second, every breath, every conversation, what we have, your relationships, how many of us have lived our lives mindfully? We all have this narrative, even while we are talking, right? We're not totally engrossed in what we have to say. We are always listening, and what should I say next? So it is not the real conversation that is happening. It's so many narratives happening together. So mindfulness is about living every moment completely.
And okay, so we've got a lot of your friends, my circle, your circle. We all grow together on this platform. So we have, I'd like to acknowledge the people who are giving us our time. We have Kunen. Thank you so much for joining us, Kunen. We've got Vaidyanath watching in, Srinivas, Mandar, and Vijay Kumar. And Mai has joined in just now. So thank you, everybody, for your time. If you're new to the platform, do subscribe, do give the Facebook page a like so that you can be part of these conversations moving forward. And I'd like to now again go back to Smitha and ask her, what is the difference, in your opinion, between being mindful and mindful?
Absolutely. Before that, I'm totally humbled by the time what people are giving us and your fans and people who follow you. And the most precious thing in our lives now is the time, right? That's part time that they spend with you. and spend to each other to converse with each other, what they can share and what they can add value to the rest of the people, right? The same thing what you're doing consistently, this is I hats off to you. You have done something miraculous, consistency, and the time what you're giving is so valuable. And I think everyone would appreciate that. And that's why people are here to give their time as well, to converse, to have something meaningful, which would generate from this conversation.
Thank you.
Great. And Rukia, you've done an amazing job. And since I know you from like decades, and this is a great moment come true, a true
True,
friend,
true.
and just doing so much for the people.
Absolutely.
It's amazing, incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. And
Coming
and
back to this.
and I think hearing all of this from you, who has done so much as well, as in with the work you do with people and transformations, the kind of content you deliver, the workshops, the retreats, and so much more. And then you to tell me I've done so much just makes me feel like, oh wow, she is so grounded. So thank you for being that person, and also thank you for saying yes for today.
Thank you. It's my honor, truly humbled by you and all of the people who are actually listening to us and watching us. Great. Okay, mindfulness and mindful. Today we are in no dearth of information overload, right? We are completely consumed by so much happening around us. You take the phone, digital overload, information overload. People do not know where to find the information. So Google is there, but there's so much. By the time you search for something, there's so many other things which are popping up, and this is like actually drowning us into something. What do we do? What do we look up to? What is that we need to do in the right now? Yeah. So people are consumed with so much of information. Now, integrity truly is the moment we wake up is sold to the media, to the advertisements, what is selling us something, right? And they're so convincing. We do not know what is true and what is not true. Okay. And in that realm of, confusion, what's right, what's truth, we are drowned in that information. So where does one find the truth, right? You have so much things around you. And then the moment we start looking inwards, because everything starts from within outwards. The stories what we create about an ad is again our perception about that, right? So basically the moment we start inwards, looking inwards, we start become really mindful about our existence, about who am I? What is my universe looking like? And if we start the narrative from inside to out, you will be living a truly meaningful life. We could look at work more consciously. We could look at relationships more mindfully and consciously. We can look at our partners in each other's eye and say that, yes, I'm here. I'm giving you the quality time. Be it relationship, work, or anywhere in any realm. We are going through a time of a complete paradigm shift. And if we have not understood this, the quality of life that we give to each moment, we are not living our life purposefully. And I think the whole pandemic era has taught us that if we do not live life every moment, w- we do not even know what's around the corner.
True
So
that.
let's, with this truth, live every moment happily, making a difference in not only yourself, but to another person. I think that's true living.
True, true. I do agree with you. Um, I like what you said about Google's always there. And I know you come from that space of wellness and holistic healing and transformation. So, Google also tends to give us a lot of information on health, to
True.
the extent that a lot of people browse a few pages and think they're doctors, or think they know why their head is aching and they've got a tumor. What are your thoughts on that?
True. Now talks about the conversations about the genome and the virology and everything, whatever is going around. we can look at like journalists, like, who has not really understood biology. They could be talking about all the epidemics and the information about that, and as though they are the authority talking about
Precisely.
such information. Only possibly somebody who's gone into depths of decades of understanding a subject would be able to talk about how does this work, how does the vaccines work, how does the virus work. So a journalist would just go and talk about that without totally knowing, understanding, but just by hearsay. It's just been said in this media, said in this. So it's not just about the journalist, about each and every one of us. We would just take information and we would relay it without knowing how severe, how sensitive certain subjects are. So I would just recommend people to just know a little bit more facts, to understand more facts by talking to the people who are the experts, and then share the information. Here it's about so much of fear is being, portrayed, right? The biggest pandemic is the fear
In
in
the
our
mind.
minds. Yeah. So I would definitely recommend people to um, be a lot more mindful on what they speak as well.
That's so, so important. And when you say being mindful and you were speaking about relationships, we see that we have a lot of Zoom meetings now. And I'm just very aware that when I'm speaking to you, I'm looking at your face on the screen, but I'm not really making eye contact. And that
Yes.
sometimes impacts the way a person receives the message you give them. And that's so powerful when I look straight at the camera. But the thing is, when I'm looking at the camera, I miss out on looking at you. So, what are certain things in your understanding that a person can do, specifically when we're having online meetups or just generally? I think that would be helpful.
It's so beautifully said. When we connect, everything is energy, right? Whatever we manifest is also the thoughts which comes into our reality. It first manifests as a thought in our mind, then we give energy to it, right? And that becomes your reality. So even when we are doing, I never knew that when we started the Zoom meetings, I mean, I used to conduct meditation masterclasses online. We could impact people so much, and even in the online Zoom meetings, when you actually work with your energy, when you just give truly from your heart, right, it connects to people. And I feel that about many of your thoughts, the quotes, it's so true from the heart. That's why people connect to you, right? Because you resonate that energy, what you truly from inside. Yeah. So when we speak from the heart, it works. It works directly. It connects to people directly into their hearts. Now, another thing is that when I've done many modalities of energy work, right, from Reiki to pranic healing to access to every possible modality, I've gone through. I've dwelled into that. I've done my mastery. In pranic healing, actually, you can do distant healing. So how does one connect to another person in another world and they're getting healed? And that does happen. And that's why I said that in my meditation programs, I've seen people healing right across the Zoom room. And that's incredible. I never thought, and there are different forms of meditation which I teach. And there's something called the dance or the conscious movement meditation. I never thought that I could make people dance, you know, across the screen, because live is very, because they're feeling the energy, they're feeling the vibration, they just resonate with the sound, and with this near, share sound audio from the Zoom. How I never thought that would happen, but those were the most powerful techniques which actually shifted people in that one session. That was a dance meditation, and people were going crazy in the room, Zoom room, 60 to 100 to uh, beyond 100 people dancing in their living rooms just by hearing what you have to say, the music, they're connecting to you, that the energy moves. It's like the collective consciousness when we do a prayer together, right? When we do meditation together, the consciousness, the collective consciousness is so powerful. It's incredible. So this collective energy actually can shift mountains, I would say. Yeah.
True that.
So I just see
And
people in Chennai, in Mumbai, everywhere dancing with the same energy, going crazy in the Zoom rooms. I said, is it really happening? I never believed that this could happen, but I think people are more connecting when we truly do things from our heart. It connects to the people.
Truly does.
That's all I said about it.
And as you share that, it's like we've got comments coming in, and people are feeling your vibes, you're feeling your energy, and it's no wonder that they are, because Srinivas says, wonderful, everything is energy. I believe and live this. Mai says, what an atmosphere of positive energy and good vibes. Super Smita says, Mavish, and Srinivas adds to say, transcend limits. Super. Tell me, how did you transcend limits? Because, yes, like I was sharing, I interviewed you ages ago, quite literally like in a different lifetime when you were in a different space altogether. And then here I meet you, and I get to do another interview, and which is why I'm so excited. So tell me, how did this transition happen? Or, I mean, tell me more about it. Maybe it's not even a transition, but tell me your journey. Tell me about your journey.
When we met, I was in I was running an advertising agency and a film production house, and we handle events
Yes.
as well. So I was a serial entrepreneur. I come from a background. My dad was a business person, so I from a background of a family background which was business oriented. Um, I I started off with my business, but at the same time, there was this inner calling which always told me that this is a space where I need to be, which was with the wellness space. So I was deeply into spirituality. I come from my grandfather and my great grandfather were all spiritually very inclined to deep spiritual realms of understanding. All the books what I read was more of spiritual books and on mindfulness, yoga, meditation. Um, so when I was reading all these books, I thought this is where I need to be. But we are in this material world. Even to pursue a spiritual um, space or to understand, you need definitely material abundance, right? So I definitely went into business because that's how I could fund my own spiritual learning, right? Where I had to do all the masters, all the teaching. I had traveled around the world working with different masters. No one knew why I was traveling on the weekends, going to some retreats, meditating. Like, is there something wrong with her? She's
What's wrong
making
with that?
tons of money in her business and been receiving a lot of accolades and awards, including Emirates Women Award and different many awards. The Bessie Award, the Professional Award, accolades to follow in. At the same time, there was something. It was not just about the achievements because there was something which was missing deep inside. I said, my purpose is something else. Okay, this is more the money or abundance, what I've received, more transactional, right? I am doing a work, I'm fulfilling my client's necessity, and I'm happy, I'm doing creative work, but at the same time, there was something missing deep inside. So at the parallelly, I was doing this. Even you wouldn't have known I was like parallelly doing all these things at that time when you had interviewed me. Then I forayed into other businesses, a trading company, and I had a factory in Ras Al Khaimah. I did many other things as a serial entrepreneur because I was successful in whatever I did. But at the same time, this parallel pursuit for this wellness and this space of changing another person's life. I knew that whenever I was doing this heal, my first Reiki class when I was in the school, that's when I started learning. Okay, this connected with me. Then went to pranic, then went into different modality. Then I went to science to understand how does the brain work, how does the neuroscience work, how does the technology and science connect to the tradition. So this ancient wisdom, what we already had, I was wanting to prove it with science because unless you have a validation with science, it's difficult for people to accept it. So I went into that space of understanding, traveled again around the world, working with scientists, and I've done my own research in this space of understanding how mindfulness work. I've got the equipments. I travel, understood different technology, and started researching on mindfulness and how does it affect human life? How does it affect the brain? So I've got thousands of resonant readings on the brain and how our auric field shifts, how our energy body shifts. with whatever practice you do. So based on these researches, I've got my papers done on it and how you can change your body and your reality with just working in your mindset alone. Yeah, so that was a long journey, and now people around me understand. Even my family would understand. Yeah, she was doing this for a purpose. No one
Purpose.
understood me then, but now they come to understand that she's relentlessly working on this, and she finds deeper happiness when you're able to touch people's lives. Yes,
True that.
yes, I thought that was an interesting journey.
It was. And I love how you've not just looked into the old wisdom, ancient wisdom, but also backed it up with science, because as you rightfully said, validation is so important, especially in the world that we live in right now. People always ask, okay, so what's the evidence? And they are always on the lookout to kind of rubbish it and say, ah, no, it doesn't work. So if you give them evidence and you give them the science behind it, it makes sense. And speaking of evidence, you recently shared some pictures of me with me and some videos of people who've undergone some amazing transformations. Would you like to share with us about that?
Yeah, working with, yeah, that was the program which I'm running, which is a mind body transformation program. So, this program actually helps you to change your reality in terms of your physical body by working on 70% on your mindset. How to shift that mindset, how to give away, let go of that cravings, and then say no to what you have to say no to um, the food which is not so nourishing you, right? We crave for unhealthy food. So how to say no to that, and how to reduce your stress, right? Stress is also building up cortisol, excess amount of exercise. All of these works in with our body negatively. So I have worked out a protocol which is like been years of research on this, working out with the mind, body, and your spirit, right? So when we combine this 360-degree, your transformation is miraculous. And that's
Mhm.
why even when you've seen people have transformed like 20 kilos in about 2.5 months. This is this is never experimented before in a such short span of time. How does one change yourself, right? Unless you do excess amount of fitness, right? At least 4 or 5 hours of fitness, or doing a surgery, or doing going through extreme amount of fasting. Without this, you can now change your body. I mean, this is what we understand. But if you start working with the root cause of what is creating that
Hmm.
overweight, or your weight gain, what are the root causes of it, right? And help it with the mindfulness practices, with uh, a practices which is connecting on what time to eat, when to eat, how to eat, what is
Hmm.
the kind of hydration you should have, what are the timings to eat. So basically, most of the people, they're just stuck with whatever food they are eating. Okay, of course, not fries and sugar and all of that, but I've shifted around what works for them based on different protocols. And they've had miraculous transformation because it's about being mindful of who they are, what are their limiting beliefs connected to their body, and
Hmm.
their relationship with their body, right? Body shaming. Then how to, and then we also have certain meditation practices which will help you with the weight release. So yeah, so miraculous transformation in 2 months time, and people have said, how does this work? Working with your gut, working with the microbiome, how it affects your body.
Hmm.
And people think that, your microbiome and the bacteria and fungi and viruses, whatever we have in our body, is just in that small colon. Okay, we of course do detox and all of that. But there are many parts of our body where the microbiome is there. So unless you completely shift the whole body, and how does your
Okay.
mind connect to your body? What are the neurocircuits which helps you to connect that? We will not have a transformation, which is for real. Now, for example, all the people who have done these, there are no extreme diets in my program.
Okay.
If they have done this program, after that, they are so aware. After the program, they said, my God, during the new year, the food is there. I'm so aware of what I need to eat. And if I've eaten that, what do I do the next day so that I can combat that and just come back to the healthy self? So it's just been an amazing journey for the people who have been in the program. And I'm just so blessed to have people who really needed it to be there. So 10 to 20, it's just been a cakewalk. And when I think there's someone who started off with, yeah, I would like to, have a 10 kg weight loss. And he said, after 2 weeks, he said, it's just been crazy transformation. So can I have another 10, please? So I'll make it 20. So, the wish list started growing. And if someone has to think that way, you've seen what's happening with them, how the craving is going down. So yeah, it's just been amazing. Yeah. But yeah, just not about body transformation. Even people coming up with depression or
Mm.
suicidal tendencies. I've seen miraculous shifts happening just in a matter of 4 days of mindfulness session. Because our
Wow.
mind, our brain is neuroplastic. We work on the neurogenesis. Even
Yep.
7 hours of just working with compassion and gratitude can transform your brain. So if you do mindfulness practices for about 21 days, you can see people shifting, their reality start shifting, their relationship with people start shifting, their relationship with stress start shifting. How do you react,
Mm.
to certain situation? You'll start responding mindfully. You take a pause and respond mindfully to situations. So you could improve in your work, in your relationship, in everything what you do. And your friends and colleagues will start observing, like, how does this person have this zen like quality? It was not there before. But that's why the miracle of working with your mind and being mindful, being doing mindfulness practices and meditation can help you, especially during these challenging times, to
Yeah.
overcome the confusion, the stress, because stress triggers, you know, um, any diseases, whatever, and it alters the way our body is immune to your body. The immunity gets shifted, right? It triggers a lot of other diseases which are dormant and starts coming up if your stress levels and cortisols are higher. Yeah,
True that. We have
great.
a big fan of yours. She. The title of her YouTube handle is Performance Plus. Um, please put in your name. I don't know if Dr. Smitha knows who she is, but she looks like a big fan because she says, "Love dance meditations. Never thought I would even do a single meditation. When is your next big event?" She says. She's even corrected me on MBT. Thank you so much for that. And she affirms that I have been witness to it all. What she has done with these individuals is amazing. Certainly inspiring insight. Okay, this is Donovan Patterson.
Thank you so much, Donovan. He's a great friend, and
I'm sorry.
Uh,
Yes.
he, yeah, he's a great friend, and he's somebody who's a great inspiration for many people as well. But he's one person who said, I don't know how to meditate," and he was consistently meditating for 90 days in one of my meditation programs, and become an ardent fan of meditation after the program. And he never believed in that, and that's how a lot of things changed for him, and he's a great person. Very 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 great coach as well. Yes, thank you, Donovan. Thank you for
Thank you,
sharing.
Donovan. And Srinivas agrees. He says it's amazing. He said mind, body, soul balance. As you were sharing, he wrote that in. Smith, I have a confession to make. One of the things that I have as a limiting belief is I cannot be hypnotized, because I just feel
Okay.
there's just so much that goes on in my head that there have been times when I've done my sessions of hypnosis with a fellow coach, and I've just pretended to be hypnotized because it was easier to help them have that ego rush instead of me kind of telling them, "Oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't hypnotize me." Also, I think when you spoke about cravings, I think where I look at how I look at it is, no matter how much the world changes, the taste of Kit Kat will always be the same.
Absolutely. We all go through that. I totally agree with you. And even in some way, I do binge, right? It's we are all humans, right? Whenever we go through situations, sometimes we do our emotional eating. I teach meditation, but it doesn't mean that I do not have bad days. I do not have days which are not so energetic, but then we have the tools to come back very, very quickly, right? Because we are aware of that. So people who have not done meditation or done any mind, you're not aware of it, and we just hang on into that. The moment you're aware that you're eating food which is not good for you, sugar, creates a lot of disruption in our body. So if you have caught yourself eating it, and then if you're able to come back and say that, hey, I don't want to eat this, and this is
Mhm.
not good for me, at least you have that moment to say, stop, right? That's exactly what you need to, that you can develop through mindfulness practice, right?
Hmm.
So you can do that. And I'm going through a fasting where I always experiment on my body. None of the things which I've given to my um, students, the people in my program, is all of them I've experimented and tried and tested myself before I do it. And every 6 months I do a fasting, which is one of the most powerful techniques to for you to spiritually grow and to change your body, instantly. Which because after 72 hours of fasting, 3 days of fasting, you get into a space called autophagy, where your cells start eating itself, right? So you trigger your metabolic rates, your weight loss, and a whole lot of things, and deep awareness to yourself that you can be away from desires, right? It gives you a reconfirmation that mind is so powerful. If you work with your mind, you can really work with your desires and your distractions.
Mhm.
And today on my fourth day of uh, fasting, water fasting, and it is
Wow.
possible. I'm talking to you. I think I've not eaten since the last 4 days. It's again also teaching you mind can go beyond matter.
Hmm.
It is so powerful. And when you switch off the things that I do not need this, and I'm not going to die if I do this. I do this many times in our programs. People's minds are so strong that they can do a juice fast, or it's not mandatory, but people do it because their mind is so very strong that they can come off distractions. But it doesn't mean that you have to be extremely careful about what you eat. And I tell people, eat when you feel like you need to. This chocolate is really calling me. So why don't you take the chocolate? But eat it mindfully. It will still be good. You know, when you chew your chocolate, your Kit Kat, and chew it 20 times is what I tell you. Chew it 20 times. Enjoy it, and that will not harm you as much as you would like grab it and eat it like so quickly. We
Hmm.
already eat it all, but eat it mindfully. It would still be good. Yeah, it
Trust
won't
me,
harm you as
I
much.
trust me. I appreciate my chocolates very much, and I think that is beginning to now show that the chocolates are all over. So, um, we have okay. What when you were speaking of weight loss, you didn't say weight loss. What I noticed was you said weight release.
Yes,
And picking from there, what I'd like to ask you is, when you say weight release, do people gain weight also when they're holding on to emotional baggage? Is there a connection?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. A lot of people when I come around, they do come across during my programs as they actually put on weight because they hold a lot of baggage, and that
Mm.
fat is serving them something, right? They are emotionally eating, so they're feeling sad, they eat. They're feeling depressed, they eat. So the root cause is something else, right? It's not just the craving or the binging, it's just that they're holding on to something which they are not able to release. So certain situations in your life, relationship issues, They want something in their life, they don't get it, so they are driven towards eating, which gives them a comfort zone. So it's a lot of reasons are there why people are eating. So normally in my program, I just find out what is that triggering them,
Hmm.
why are they doing what they're doing, right? So when you're able to this is one of the things we could do. Go to the root cause, help them to release that. As I would say, weight instead of weight loss, weight release is that, anything what you want, you lose, you go and find it. So if you're losing something, you will still have the,
Yeah,
mental trigger to go and find it. So I would always say or use, because the words are also very powerful.
true.
So I would say weight release.
It definitely jumped at me because when I hear everybody else talk about it, they say weight loss, and I know that when you lose something, you go looking for it. Or yeah, I joke around saying my husband lost 3 kgs and I found it. So it's sometimes it's easier to laugh it off or just pretend, play silly. But yes, it does irritate me that I have bulked up over a period of time. But being a little bit of mindful would definitely help. And to answer Donovan's question, when is your next big event? So that if people want to register, enroll, do let us know.
Yeah, I shared with you a link so people can have a complimentary consultation with me. It would be starting in a few days,
Okay.
the Body Transformation Bootcamp. So yeah, they can just go to the link and register and just have a consultation and see whether they're ready for it or no. Yeah,
Super.
first of all, they have to be internally ready for it. Have a deep purpose of why they're doing what they're doing. Why do they
Hmm.
need to do what they're doing? Yeah,
Makes sense.
great.
So we have a student of yours. We have Kunen who says, I'm fortunate to learn M of meditation and mindfulness from Dr. Smitha. She's awesome indeed. Thank you, Dr. Happiness.
Thank you so much, Kunayan. It's so great to have you. He's one of an amazing person I've met in my
Yes,
life,
he is.
ever
Yeah.
helpful person. So thank you, Kunayan. Thank you for being here and giving your time. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Srinivas says, wow, mind can go beyond matter, my takeaway. So everyone's kind of picking up the gems as you randomly throw them around as you speak. Everybody's just picking up the jewels that connect with them and are sharing them in comments. Thank you guys for participating and engaging. Means a lot to us.
Yes, Srinivas was also has participated in the 10-day meditation masterclass, and he had amazing transformation. By the end of the session, he actually shifted into from one realm to another realm. And thank you for coming by. And yeah, thank you for coming by and learning, listening. Yeah, thanks.
Super. We have Kawal who is watching as well, and Junit who's just joined in. So thank you once again, everybody. The conversation, yes, the conversation is around mindfulness in the busy world. If you have any questions, please share. In the meantime, I would also like to ask you about um, how can we be mindful at work? And how could we just separate that workspace from the home space, if it is even possible?
Absolutely. I would just look at my life and I would just tell you, like, when I'm an entrepreneur, I am completely an entrepreneur. You met me when I was an entrepreneur. You never could even imagine I was doing music or I was doing spirituality. I was into healing or, many other areas where I got into. Nor I do not mix it. So at that time when I was an entrepreneur, I was making music as well. I was creating frequencies and sounds and my interaction with Bob Proctor as well. You've seen that video where I
Yes.
was creating healing music, healing frequencies. And then I went on to pop, I was singing, I was creating my own music. I've also sang for a few films. So when I'm an entrepreneur, I have a definite division between that and this. People could never, I'm in this corporate and wearing my suit, and they could never, oh my God, she could dance and sing and go crazy. They could
And make
never
people
relate
dance.
these two people, make people dance as well. They could never relate these two people being the same. No, no way. I could never imagine that you could do this because I switch on from one place to another. Now, when I'm doing a certain kind of meditation, which like I just embody that feeling of meditation or teaching meditation to a true sense. But when I'm doing a dance meditation, I'm going crazy. I'm jumping around all around the room, making everyone dance, everyone going crazy. I'm crazy as well, rolling on the floor. It's just that you become your true inner child, your true self, right? Where that's the whole essence of it. If I do not embody that, how will the rest of the people do that? So I go into an entrepreneur, to a musician, being a DJ, being a performer, everything in all, but in all sense. I mean, whatever I've learned in different realms where I had the certain divisions, what I've left, I switch off from one to another, one to another, one to another. If you're able to do that, then you feel completely fulfilled and you're doing justice to that particular role. So, with the mindfulness practice, we are able to bring the awareness separately, be able to judge things, clearly identify how your thoughts are. How do you get completely into that? So if I'm dancing, I'm completely into that. I become that. I become one with that. So
Hmm.
then you truly embody that essence. So this the mindfulness or meditation practice can happen. I do the 10-day meditation mastery where they go through all realms. They do different healings of uh, inner child. Where are those emotions? Where are we holding our hurt? And then release it from that. Mostly people have the fear to face those fear. So
Yeah.
during these meditations, which are very deep and intense, they go and face those fears. Look
Hmm.
at the fear eye to eye. Say, I see you, Mr. Fear, and this is what I'm fearful about. I have compassion and love for you. And how you release that. Mostly what happens, I do not want to call it, especially when people are given medication, uh, you are suppressing most of the
Yeah.
innermost fears what you have. Yeah, especially during depression. So when I'm working with people who are depressed, I take them to that fear, show them what it really is, right? What loneliness is. And then when they see that, when they start, connecting to that in a way with compassion, without judgment, and start loving themselves for whatever it is, they start shifting instantly. So there are many ways of going about it, and running away from situations is not something which we need. We need to anything is in our lives. We need to face it. Running away never helps. Great, yeah. So this is. I don't know what was the question. I've forgotten.
It doesn't matter. The question doesn't matter. Your answer does. Its questions are irrelevant.
Great.
So earlier today, I was on my daily video. I was talking about you learn as you coach. You learn as you coach, and coincidentally, the conversation was around the same things. So what are those dark areas where you don't want to go to with your client, or if your client is wants to go there, what's it bringing up for you? What is the client bringing to you as awareness? Because they say everybody's a reflection. Coaching is you're reflecting to the client, right? And everybody reflects back energy to you. So, what are those dark areas that you feel a little hesitant to go to? And if you are feeling hesitant, what is it saying to you about your own self? So, interesting.
Um, Interesting. Great question. See, many times when I go through, so mostly everything arises from your narrative, which goes in your mind about whatever situation. So, thousands of people I've worked with in terms of one-to-one coaching and energy work and healing. What I've understood is that it's just that narrative, what they have, the story, what they create in their mind about a certain situation. I had people who are in their 60s and 70s crying, weeping on a situation which has happened in their childhood. They just could not release it, right? So it teaches me a lot more. We need to be more compassionate about, people having this feeling, this limiting beliefs regarding particular situations, and that's holding them to live a completely, you know, full life because something is holding on. They do not understand it unless you take them there. And
Mm,
during the energy sessions, they get into a space where they're completely empty. Empty in the sense that I'm not saying that nil thoughts, empty in the sense that the outward world doesn't exist. You're working with with your inner reality. So it's just only that universe where you are in. They have a space to go to the deepest realms of whatever they are holding on to. What is blocking me? And then they come out of it. So, as you rightly said, there's so much of learning. Every day I'm learning. Whatever said and done, we have learned so much in different realms, in different disciplines. But every person is still a learning experience for you. You learn so much from them as well. um, it makes you so humbled that we're just a speck of whatever is going around and around the world and in this galaxy, and there's so much more to learn. Every person teaches you something along the way. And if you just look at even our brain, the way our brain works, right? um, there is so much. Every second we receive so much of information, right? The sensory neurons in our body, of the sight, the sound, the taste, the touch. So much of information is there,
The
and
smell.
every second your brain brain is bombarded by about 11 million bits of information.
Yep.
11 million bits, and our conscious mind, it can handle only 60 bits
Yes.
of information, and then the rest of the information you know is being our subconscious mind starts processing it in different ways. And when you're able to give an opportunity for a person to just get to your subconscious, understand what's happening there, their life's transforming right then and there. So you're working with a complex marvel, what the Almighty has created. It's true marvel. And when you understand that just a small thought can change your life,
Yep.
because everything starts from here. It starts as a thought, it becomes a reality. To create, there are certain practices where you can create intention and powerful intentions. So let's everyone start creating an intention for an amazing year to come.
True
Share
that.
this kind of information. Come and watch you and people who are sharing genuine thoughts and sharing information which can actually transform people's lives.
Absolutely. And I think that's what truly, truly makes a difference. And as you said, when somebody delivers with the heart, it definitely shows and people can resonate, they can feel it. Because as you share, the comments are lighting up, of course. And also I can feel it. And I'm sure and guys, please type in a yes if you can feel her energy, if you can feel the sense that she has as she shares it, the way she lights up, the way she gets all excited when she talks about the brain and the way how it works. And look at that smile she's flashing at us. So, tell me before we round up. Tell me a little bit more about your connect with Bob Proctor, because I shared the video where he's endorsed you, and Kunan is quick to say yes. Yeah, we can feel the energy. I mean, I'm sitting miles away. You're there, and I'm here, and I can just feel it. So thank you. Giving from the heart truly is what Smita does. There we go. Kanwal says, this is what she says about you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Um, so please tell us about that endorsement and what did you do? I'm sure people would love to know.
I had a great interaction with Bob Proctor in Washington, D.C., and then we were sitting on a breakfast, and then I shared with him some of the stuff what I did, healing meditation, because I was deeply into music at that time. So as I was creating my music, which was my album and my pop, and I've done a few stuff for the National Day Initiative as well. Something with a cause I would always want to connect to. So also created the happiness song and the National Day Initiative. And during this time, I was working with my producers, and I really was working on the frequencies, what could resonate to you, to shift your energy just by listening to a track. So with binaural beats and the
Yeah.
frequencies of the sounds and frequencies which resonate to each chakras, he was fascinated. He was really, really impressed by the work what I did. And he, as a person who has been in this space for like ages, And he's sitting down with me and he's telling, Smita, you've done an amazing, amazing job. Let me give you something. And that's how he recorded this video for me and said that this is going to shift the world. This is going to change the world because you're putting a lot of effort and time into making this product because each chakras or each energy vortices of our body can shift with certain frequencies and with certain syllables or mantras or words, whatever you call it, because everything is frequency. So I've been researching on that. I've done a lot of study and work in that space. So yeah, that's about that particular content.
Super. It was 2 years plus, if I remember correctly. 2.5 years is what
Yes.
you said. Yes?
Yeah, it
Yes.
took me about so many, yeah, 2.5 years to create that content, those frequencies and the sounds and the meditation music, what I work with. I always like to combine the ancient techniques with the modern inputs to it so that it is it works for the new, for the new generation because they want to hear sound and the music and everything. But again, with the essence of what frequencies could work. So that's why my meditation programs would work with the sounds, the 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 tones and the frequencies. Um, and I would like to end with, if you don't, whenever like you closing it, a minute of just a silent meditation to go towards the prayer for this world, for for us to take us to a new year, a 2021, which is away from what we have gone through in 20. We definitely had a lot of learnings, but we want to let go of a lot of other things what we have gone through.
True. Um,
Yeah,
when you talk of binaural beats, I think I was introduced to it by my son. So when you say that the young ones they want to listen to music and stuff. Oh, I remember we were at the airport and we had this long queue of luggage that needed to be kind of put away, and he was listening to something on his headphones. What are you listening to? So he goes, "Okay, I'll give you one, and you listen to or with on one headset, and I listen to the other." And I was like, "This is trancy, man." He said, "Yeah, just go with it." So that was my first experience. So lots of things. It's interesting. You pick up, you learn from your children as well, and they kind of shape you into the person that you are, as we shape them into the person that they are. And I think above everything, mindfulness in relationships is so important. And would it be okay if we kind of extended by a little bit more? I'm just getting a little greedy here, and even last session was so outstanding. We kind of extended a few minutes past the hour. Would that be okay with you?
absolutely.
Okay, so guys,
Yes,
if you want her to speak just a little bit more, type in a yes. If I have at least three yeses, we shall do that, or else we'll just close at around 10. Okay, we actually have a question. Forget that. So, is there a relationship between mindfulness and equanimity?
equanimity. Yes,
Equanimity.
absolutely. Because mindfulness helps to build your resilience. At the same time, being okay with whatever it is, you start becoming neutral towards whatever is happening in and around you as well, right? When you are able to connect to the inside of you and outside of you with equanimity, right? At the same time, you're able to do the same with others as well. So it's a beautiful, I mean, it is for you to experience, to understand. And there's so many researches done on compassion, gratitude, equanimity, where it can transform your body. Gratitude can transform your body. It's crazy. It can
Hmm.
change your physical reality. So there's so much work done on this space, so much research is done on this space. Absolutely. I mean, this is what you will embody once you have done certain, once you've created a practice for yourself. And Ruki, I want to add one more thing. We do not want to do these hour-long mindfulness practices, which is not practical for this. Hour-long is good for you to study, but when you get into your real life, you want to create a practice for yourself,
Hmm.
practice which will work with your lifestyle, right? It
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
3 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah, even it
Hmm.
could go hour long, but depending on your lifestyle, that's why for the new age, the
Yeah.
mindfulness for the busy world is something what you develop on your own from all the practices what you've learned, and you create a capsule what works for your lifestyle.
Hmm. So yes, the three S's have come in, and so tell me a little bit about mindfulness in relationships, and how important is mindfulness with your own relationship with yourself?
The first is about self love. Mindfulness or meditation helps you to understand truly who you are. It will give a connect to, because you're working with your inner universe. When you start understanding who you are, what your deep sense of purpose is, right? You would start working towards it. You will actually automatically let go of all the things which are not relevant to you because you understand this is my true purpose. There are ways of understanding your true purpose. When we work with different forms of meditation, you connect to that and then you start working towards it. If people have got into mindfulness or meditation practice earlier in their lives, they would understand their purpose much more easier. Sometimes people go up to 60, 70 years. They do all the things possible around. And then, okay, this was my purpose. Why did I even know this before, right? This
Yeah.
gives me happiness. This gives me joy. I light up when I do this, right? So you get to a space where you understand yourself a lot more faster, quicker if you got into a space. And so mindfulness helps you understanding who you are, and then it automatically develops self-love because you're giving time to yourself, right? When you're setting up a practice for yourself, you're sitting with yourself. Now sit down. It's not, I would like to say that be selfish for you to do a meditation practice. It is not being selfish, it is self-love.
Yep.
You're giving yourself a time to nurture you. When there are different practices called the body scan practice, they're saying appreciating every part of your body, every cell of your body, being grateful for this. In certain meditation, you have feeling your thumb, feeling your fingertips. When am I being aware of my fingertip or my thumb and say, thank you, my thumb. You've been serving me, but did I acknowledge that? Did I say gratitude to that? Unless it's hurt, it's
Yeah.
bleeding. You would not say, oh, I have a thumb. Yeah, now I feel the pain. Unless it's hurt, you won't give. Exactly like we call the God when we are in pain, right?
Yeah.
Do we say gratitude? That's why gratitude towards the Almighty, towards this creation, what He has given us, right? This is a miraculous creation. How does even one know? How does this whole system work? Even science could not understand that. How does a dolphin know that what genes and this gene would work for me to work this way, right? How does a human being, how does all of this work? It's a miracle, right? Just being
Right.
grateful for the life itself is a big thing for us to do. So, yes, you start building your relationship with yourself. You get more connected to you. The more you're connected to yourself, you start understanding the other people as well. Then you start looking outwardly, where you look at everyone else, not just from, you know, what do you think about their stories? You look at them with compassion. If someone is angry with you, someone was telling me, David President, I started looking at people differently now because I understand their journey, because I connect to their journey. You pause, you don't react to people.
You
You
respond.
you respond. You take a pause, you take a moment. Is it mindful for me to say this to that person? Is it worthwhile? So we look at everything, take a pause, and then start. Your relationship becomes definitely better because you're giving quality time with your loved ones. You start giving a quality time for your loved ones. So definitely being mindful will help. First, you need to start with you. Start looking inwards. Then everything else is a reflection of you, right? You look at them with compassion rather than anger or hatred. Oh, I need to do this revenge to this person. No, you say, he has a tough day. He must be having a bad journey. His life has not been good, so let me have compassion and serve him in whatever way I can. Yeah. So this is
Coming
my
from
2 cents on.
beautiful. And I like how you've grounded us all. You've brought us to this level of peace and calm. So thank you so much for that. And I know that you said you would like to do a silence meditation, and truly honored. So without any delays, let's do what work your
Thank
magic.
you. Thank you, Rick. It's just a small bit just for us to be grounded. So I just want each and every one of you to sit straight, shoulders open, chest open, spine erect. You can keep your eyes closed for all the people who are online. Share this 1 minute with us. Take in a deep breath, deeply inhale and exhale. Deeply inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Deeply inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Let's do 12 rounds of these. Continue breathing in and breathing out. We have given ourselves our time, which is the most precious thing that we have as humans, to collectively be together here with such finite lifespans. Time is the most precious thing that we have as humans. Time is something which we can give to each other. Let's create the opportunity and co-create spaces like this where we are working on today. I'm just in gratitude to each and every one of you. So let's take this time of silence, observing our breath, continue breathing and breathing out. And now let's bring into our minds someone who's very close to us, a loved one, into your heart. To cultivate the strong aspiration that they be happy and be free of suffering. And we share the same happiness to the entire world. And let's wish for everyone to be free from suffering, to all the human beings. And let's envision a time in our lives where we had the difficulties, how we have been winners coming out of it. May you be free of suffering and simply notice whatever may come up for you. Just observe what are the thoughts coming in right now. With gratitude, breathing in and breathing out. Observe your fingertips and your toes coming back to this room, into this space. Rub your palms together. Place it on your eyes and slowly start opening your eyes when you are ready. With that beautiful smile, with that beautiful smile I see now of Rukia, I think the most famous smile I would say. Thank you. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. Thank you. Quite like you've blessed the platform, you've blessed the year, and you've just given us so much of light and love. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you.
So, with this, we close the session. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Wish you a blessed rest of the day, wherever you are. Have a lovely evening. And thank you, Dr. Smitha, for once again joining us.
Thank you so much, Rukia.
Thank you.
Thank you.